Hello and welcome again to Steve's Long Stay Workshop, where things come to looked at when they be looked at elsewhere or can't be fixed or whatever. They come here and I'm like basically the last line of defence for a lot of these sets. Like many others, I went to Goulash this weekend and I've got a car full of stuff, not all for me, but I've got a car full of stuff. And I picked this up on the day actually from Graham Christophe. Hello Graham. Is it Graham or George Christophe? And it doesn't work. Really like being sold there, quite frankly. Nice to see Graham and Paul and all the rest of them, and Andy, of course, who around there and back and everything else. A good day was had all around. And of course, when that happens, somebody set me a challenge, and this, I think, is a challenge. This is not a British radio. Brand name is Civic. You see there, and on the back here, it's Civic as well, somewhere. It doesn't actually, but basically it tells you in English, German, and I think that's French. Don't run it with the back off and stuff like that. Well, we are doing. And of course, Civic sets of this kind, European sets, Eastern European sets of this kind, they work very well, or they don't work at all. There don't seem to be any in between, and this one doesn't work at all. So, yeah. On the back, by the way, it tells you half K, ECL86, EBF89, EC881, which is standard for these sort of sets, ECC85, which is bully knackered, and of course an EM84. That's what in the back there, and it gives you the equivalents too, by the way. EC86 or 6DW. 6, that is EBF89 is 6GD8, EC81 is 6AJ8, ECC85 is 6AQ8. So you know they're the two if you need them, but whether or not, I don't know. This set, it lit up and then it didn't. The buttons, they do seem to be okay apart from VHF. But this thing is completely and utterly dead. Now, dead sets of this kind are from quite easy to troubleshoot, but everything else I don't know at this stage. The flex cable has been cut off here. I did put one on just to test it with, but I put that on properly. And then of course the set will be out of its cabinet so we can have a look. I'll just turn it round actually so we can have a look on the back of this this treasure. There you go. It's interesting design as always. So let's get to it. Now obviously with the set being dead, nothing happens at all. It could be one or two, several things. These sets, generally speaking, have transformers, which isn't the first port of call, but it is a port of call. So, first thing we do is look at whether things are actually doing anything at all. So, meter onto bleed. There we are. That should be bleaching more than that. This should be here. This should be standard, quite frankly. Yeah, okay, that goes to there. It goes to there. Yeah. Which doesn't go to there and goes to there. So switch it on at the front here. I'll press a button down. Anyone. And we'll try that again. So it's going to this one. Okay. Still nothing here. And so therefore from there to there, that should be that's okay. Okay, so that's okay. that isn't. And that isn't. Right, okay, next thing we do is quickly take the fuses. That one's okay. That one's okay. Right, so we know before we started that the problem is not the fuses. It might be the net transformer, and it might be the switches on the front of the turret not making contact. So next thing we do, therefore, get the thing apart and have a look and find out why it's not doing anything at all of all the things it should do. It should do, but it's not. So this by the way, these sets of this era have a plate on the bottom which comes off as well. These, not so much use on these on the sets that don't have a wired chassis. This is printed circuit boards, but did come in very handy with the sets that's had Christmas tree construction. So this comes off as well, like that. Have a look and see if there's anything done. But the printed circuit board, as you can see here, again I'll turn it around so I can see the printed circuit board. Hang on. So you can see the printed circuit board there. So this is all on printed circuit boards. So now we take out the other four chassis screws here, and the radio should come apart. Should be the opposite word, of course. Andy talked about bell switches on these. It does happen, it happens a lot. So probably that's right, that's probably right. But what else there could be, I really don't know. This having an EC L86 in, of course, they are notably not unreliable, but very, very intolerant of changes on, such as grid resistors and capacitors going high or low, so that's something, So with an with any Pentos circuit, there should be nothing on the grid at all, nothing. AC but no DC. If there is, then change that cap straight away. Also, with sets like this, of course, you can tip the transformer sets. Usually, although not always, these will be in series, and if they are, then all you do is whip them out and have a look, and then with them out, because this also has metal rectifier on the DC. The DC should still come up, and if it does come up, then we can check things like that before checking the valves. But the first thing we have to do is find out why it's not doing anything at all. And I might also, while I'm at it, put the cable straight on there, as well as look at this thing here. It's the switch of some kind. So it should come back nice out of the cabinet. That can come off. Okay, right, that can come out. That can come out, right. And let's have a look at what we've got here, shall we? Always look before you leap with these. Always look first, leap later. The phrase "look before you leap" is very, very important with these sets, because if you don't, then you will have problems further down the line. Also with these sets, they have a system of tuning where there are in fact two tuning strings, one for FM and one for AM. The FM one here, I can tell is alright, but the AM one is doing absolutely nothing. And I think that capacitor is well and truly stuck, frozen up, so that's something we have to deal with as well. So, yeah, first of all, let's have a look at why it's not doing anything like what it should, because that is worrying, that, isn't it? So, also, this set has the dreaded cable on, which is all the same colour, so that has to come off as well, but for this it doesn't really matter. So that goes onto there, that goes onto there, and as you can hear, there's nothing. Okay. Nothing. There's nothing. Let's try the other one, see, shall we? I'm doing something, but not nowhere near enough. Put that out of the way. Right. What's that on the older range? 4.9k, that's not right, is it? So something certainly not right there. Or there. Because for some reason it's saying that piece of wire is varying in value quite a lot. So I'll start by taking that off and plugging a cable on, which I got off another set. So I'll put those on and we'll see what happens. Right, now with it being a transformerless set, you can take a valve out and the rest will still light. Also because this is a set with a rectifier that's not valved, so I think it's seen in this, but does smell okay, so I'll leave it that for now. Probably permanently, I don't know yet. But because the ECL86 has come out because they're expensive and they're not really, and they don't handle faults so well, so that is out for now. And with it out, therefore, there it is. Now look at it. I've sprayed this switch, it seems to be okay now, but we'll keep an eye on that. And when the lights come up here, you see that tells us that we've got HT and LT. They're both there. LT because the valve heaters are lit, and so are the lights in the front there, and HT because, well, it's lit, to everything it should do, apart from showing us anything. Now, at this stage now, with that out, we can look around the pins of the ECL86 socket and see what we find. What we should get are pins on pin 9, so it does 1.1. I'll put that up. There we are. Right. Can you read that? Can you read that? I hope we can. I can anyway. So pin 9, another child, 196 volts. Okay, fine. Now we also should be nothing on pin 8, and I mean nothing. And it appears to be nothing. Okay. Pin 7 should have nothing. Doesn't appear to have. I'll just check pin 8 again just to be sure. Nothing. Pin 6 should have voltage on it. It does. Okay. 5 and 4 are the heaters, and therefore grid 1 of the triode again should have nothing on it, well, very little. It does. And grid, that's okay. That's the other grid. That's okay. So that suggests to me that either that valve is okay, the settings for that valve are okay, so either that valve is faulty or it's not getting any signal at all. So with that in mind, power off, like that, put this valve back in, there we go, set right, back in its place, okay, and in it goes again, and that should light up, and there should be something from the speaker at some point. The volume tone I've set in the middle, so let's see what happens when when it comes up to life again. Okay, so there's crackle there as well, and some sort of hum. Okay, on the back here there should be sockets for gram, which there are, it seems. So let's find out where they are exactly. Like that, okay, so switch to gram, and do we get anything on what appears to be the gram socket? Obviously it's making some noise, but therefore we know that the gram side of it does work to some point anyway. Quite well actually. So now we've got to look rather further back, don't we? So, which is medium wave. And next thing we do is look at this tuning condenser here, which is rather bunged up, and try and release that. Which could be interesting. I don't know quite which one is where the problem is here, but what I'll do, there's a screw on the side here which I'll try and take off. Doesn't want to come. Okay, so I'll look at this first of all and try and get a station or two of medium wave, long wave and short wave. Well, the tuning capacitor is rock solid. What I'm going to do in the meantime, however, is check that the IFs are okay. So on with the radio, let it warm up, and let's have a look and see what we can find and where we can find it. I don't know quite what the RF is on this. RF isn't know that it's 470 or thereabouts. Once the thing warms up, it should tell us by us having a signal from the unit here. very, very quiet. Very, very quiet. That tells us that the signal is getting to this IF valve because of that. So probably something getting to that and here. And so if I put that on the top of there like that, not getting a lot, but we are getting something. So we're getting some, but not everything. I think we're getting quite a lot there now actually. So that's doing something anyway. So we know that the IFs are doing something on AM. Now on FM, it should be something like 10.7 megahertz. It usually is. Now 10.7 is common for these, and it's a very common frequency. So if I switch it to FM, like that, and we'll see if we get anything on FM when I've managed to get the button to go down. So I'll do it by putting that under there like that and pressing it down again and see if it now stays in place. Okay, it appears to. So on with the power again, and we'll go and have a look at 10.7 megahertz. The 10.7 megahertz on AM, something should come through, and something is all we're looking for here. So again, there's something there. That tells us that the IF is working on 10 megs, and so there should be something, but again there isn't. These are slug tuned, by the way, on FM, so the fact that the AM tuning capacitor is stuck isn't really a problem. So I'll if we look underneath, which I will do for you right now with the radio switched off, like that, you see. If you look here, like that, can you see that? Can you see that? See if you can see that. That is the FM tuning there, you see, and it's slug tuned. It's slug tuned, and so one of these can you see moving up and down there? You can see it. That is the FM tuner. Now, the fact there doesn't seem to be anything on FM, the next place we're going to look is the not this valve here straight away, although it could well be faulty. But first, the next thing I want to find out is whether there are voltages to it, because if there are no voltages to it, it won't do anything. That is basic electronics in a very basic way. That is stuck side there actually, so I don't know quite what's going there. What I've done, I've put oil in, but I might need to take that out and do something with it to get it to move. And at that point we should get something on AM as well as FM. FM, by the way, it should be working. I should be able to get something. See? Tune. So that should be doing something on FM. So I'll just put that on again and put something on the FM. If you don't do anything, and we'll see what we get. And that's completely utterly dead. Not even a hiss there, nothing. So what we'll do at this point, we turn the set over again, and we'll have a look at voltages on the IF cam, or on the VHF cam. These sets do actually have problems with the VHF cams. I'll tell you that in advance. And so, you know, that's the first thing we ought to know. The voltages should be here. So now, with that plugged in like that, yeah, we should get some voltages on the VHF RF valve here, which is in this case, as in many cases, it's an EC85. EC85s, Gerard Wells used to say that he used to check them over until found one that worked. Many people do that, I know, and the reason why they do, because these valves do tend to generate problems. So let's see, shall we? Right. So there's 1 volt there. 1 volt there. That's nowhere near enough. Nothing there. Nothing there. Nothing there. So there's nothing getting to this can. Nothing getting to this can. So if we follow this lot back now, we should find out where it's losing it. The LT to it is there because the valve is lighting up. So it's the HT that's letting them down somewhat here. With the valve out, let's see if these voltages change. I don't know which is here, by the way, but you know, with again 0.1 there, 0.1 there, 0.1 there. Basically, there's nothing at all on this can. There should be, but there isn't. And so, therefore, from there, we look and see where is. I beg your pardon, sir. Let's try putting that back down again. I think it's that button, you know. I think it's that button. I'm pretty sure of it. It won't help anyway. And by the way, also, although the HT is there, that's a registering. It's not doing anything at all. It's just sitting there doing notes. So obviously, there's something with that as well. With the ECH81 back in circuit and the ECC85 out of circuit now, if I was to switch on, at some point we should have a lot of noise in the speaker because I've gone on the output of here. So at some point we should have a lot of noise. And we do. To demonstrate there, and that is very, very low down on the generator, as you can see. That is switch it to low range like that, and it's still. So therefore, I could assume that half of the ECH81 is all right, and the other half isn't. Now, therefore, we know that there's no voltage to this valve here, and so pin 1 of it has a 10k resistor to here. So from there to the other half of this coil here, we get a note, and at this briefing point we should get 10k. If we do that, I'll just get something to push down there and try and pick it up. And you see that, hang on, there you are. You see from the meter there, the 10k there. Okay. The unit resistor there, and this one I do know from experience of these, it will be 10k. Now from there to there, it should be very little. It is very little. So going back to the there you see now we go from there down here, pushing wires out of the way, and where does it go? It goes to there. Okay, so there we go. And that then goes along here. I think that one. It is, yeah. That one, yeah. And that one goes all the way along, and it comes up. Let's see, goes along, and it goes to here. Goes to there. Okay. Now on the back here, I found that these switches are in fact damaged. So I think that the next thing to do is to short that out, because that is not going anywhere. Not going to any other pin anywhere. That. And the next one down is the magic eye. So plenty there. Note there. Note there. Plenty there though. Okay. So there's a problem here, and there don't seem to be any resistors or anything behind that. So I will try getting hold of the circuit and looking to see where that goes and where I can link it to get power through to here, and also possibly to the ECH81 triode as well, because I measured very little on that anode pin either. So probably both of those probably go from here, the back here. So I'll get the circuit and I'll have a look and we'll see what we can find. By the way, in situations like this, you might not get the circuit, but you will get a circuit. The voltage on the ECC83 comes from over here, yeah, and it takes the voltage off up to Magic Eye as well, and elsewhere. So what I've done is I've bridged it here on FM, and so now if I was to give it some power and do it there should at some point be, if I was to put the lead on, of course, which shows I'm getting tired. That goes onto there like that, and that goes onto there. And as you can see, it's there. But something went bang. Don't know what, but something went bang there. So what I'll do is I'll put the valve back in, and we'll see what it now does, because that might be because of the higher voltage without being loaded down. Therefore now I will now put the meter there like that, okay. Well, I'll start by looking at there. That's okay at 165 volts. A lot higher than it was, I know. And therefore, what's gone under there is still working under there because it would have been high otherwise. So that's okay. So now we'll see what happens when I give it an aerial of some kind. The magic car here still does not give anything. Very quiet. But it doesn't appear to be music of some kind there. Very, very quiet. But so during summer, and on AM, still doesn't seem to be doing a right lot, but very quiet, but it's there. So we know that something is working. Let's just put the machine generator back on and see if it it's there. You hear it then, it's there. A lot quieter than it was. In with that out. But it is there. Let's put it back on the high range. And that is low. Low supposed to be non-existent. So something has obviously said goodbye to us at that point, which happens. So now we've got something. We've got something. You can get anything off the internet these days, including circuit diagrams for obscure radios such as this Civic, which I needed really because of the power wiring, which is not where it should be, I don't think. Basically, it comes in, I think, on number 2. I'll just check that. Comes in on number 2 here, up there to 3. So, therefore, the sort of voltage is on pin 1 and also 6, which I think we do. But this side to this valve here, this side is used on both AM and FM. Okay, that side of it is used on both AM and FM. Okay, and it should be some voltages on pins 1, I think it is, and on pin number 6. Pin number 8, however, goes through this this bit here, which is broken. So what I'm going to do, first of all, is get the voltages through to pin 8. Yeah, that'll make the oscillator work, and then hopefully, then I'll look at loosening the tuning capacitor, and maybe get something on medium wave, long wave, and short wave. I think it is, isn't it? Yeah, medium wave, long wave, and short wave. Okay. From that, then I will then go onto the VHF side here, which has problems of its own. So I've been looked at the circuit. I'm looking at the AM side first. Okay. That valve is out. That's the VHF double triode piece in ECC85, and this is the triode hexhole valve ECH81, a Tungsten one there actually. So with those now, we now go look and see what we can find and where we can find it. So let's do that. So that goes to deck like that, and pin 6 is that one there. Put it on like that. So if I power it like that, pin 6 is this one here. Or it should be. It is. Oh, so that's okay. Also pin 1, I think, is that one, which shows how the voltage on it. Now the problem is the triode circuit, and I think that's pin number 8. I need to check that on my phone, but I'm sure that is pin number 8. I'll need to check that and make sure. Hang on. Yeah, which is this one here. Okay, which has on it diddly square. Now, with no voltage on there like that, there will be no station, because the oscillator will not be running. So what I'll do is I'll run it from there over to the switch, and then over to the switch which goes by a 22k resistor, which I can find, I think. On the back here is to which way 22k resistor, which I hope there is. Otherwise I got the wrong circuit. Not that it matters, but you know, I like to have the right one if possible, you know. So on the back here there's these here. So have a look round here and see where that is in the circuit. So back in again like that, and we'll look at various resistors around here. So that, you've got nothing on it. Hang on, I'll put a meter there. So can you see that? Can you see that? Yes, you can. Okay. So nothing there. Nothing there. I don't think, well, very little. And nothing there. Okay, so that's probably okay, but and what I'll do, I'll check it on the ohms range to make sure, if I can. It should be okay now, actually. Right, so it goes from there straight then to pin 3 over here. So pin 3 over here is the one below the red lead to the magic eye, and so if we link those together, we should have the oscillator circuit up and running, I hope. I don't know if you can hear it in the camera or not, possibly not, but this machine is now working. It's on Virgin, very quiet. The tuning capacitor was held absolutely solid, and it wasn't the cap itself. It was the thing that tunes it was the problem, which is here in this in here. What I've done is I put some spray into here, some W40 into here, and some switch cleaner, and you know, a bit of the Magic spray that's 17 quid a can, and I'm going to leave it overnight, because if you look inside here, you see this here, that there goes into bottom of the can with the tuning capacitors in it, and when it does, that on the bottom there turns it, yeah, and this goes on the top like that, which means that the tuning dial and the tuning knob, everything else are all linked together. So the fact that this was so badly solid, and still is actually, meant that it wouldn't actually do anything more than that. So in the meantime, I know this is okay. I know the oscillator is okay because it's running, but why it's running so quietly, again, I don't know. I reckon a lot of it will go back to this switch here. That's pretty obvious. So I'll look at that again, because the top of it is linked out, but the bottom isn't in circuit, and the bottom of it is 7, 8 and 9, and 7, 8 and 9 are here, and if they're not linked together, the chances are then it won't actually work. So without that in circuit there, you can see it just above my finger there. Without that in circuit, it will be very quiet. So that's what we're going to look next. Well, that is hopefully losing itself overnight. Sometimes in this trade, you have to trade off what you can get and what you can't. The problem was where the switches was broken. I mean, physically broken, as I've shown you previously. And there's bits of it missing, so I can't really put it together. So what I've done instead now is I've linked the switch out completely, and so this radio is now medium wave, long wave, short wave only. And at last, it plays to us.
Plans of a new wave are gathering in Europe. Latest estimates suggest infections here are on the decline, but the Netherlands is bringing back a partial lockdown from tomorrow.
There you go. So there you are. So it's doing something. Now I'm on the way home. The next thing I've got to do, by the way, is put the tuning capacitor back together. What I mean by that is that this tuning capacitor here was drummed rock solid. I mean rock solid. This was this was refusing to turn, or rather what it was meant to turning, refusing to turn. And that was the thing which goes through that hole there on the other side and catches up inside with another cog and turns it. So the tuning knob turns this and the dial, and of course this then operates the tuning dial. So next I've got to do is sort out the tuning knob. Now Andy, bless him, has managed to loosen that actually completely. But I'm going to, just to make sure, leave it overnight again in WD-40, just to be on the safe side. And then I'll be putting it back in. The tuning cap is back in and it works. Also, by the way, the grid capacitor on the output pen sword, which was okay before, now isn't. So I've changed that, and we've got something sounding rather good, as we'll hear in a moment when it's warmed up. The problem we've got now, however, is that the magic eye doesn't work. Because I showed you the switch in, I'll probably, there, I've probably gone past the magic eye input as well. So that's the next thing to sort out. So, but see, I'm putting off the one job which I hate, which is tuning strings, because, well, who do you know who likes doing tuning strings? Anybody? The next thing we're going to look at here is the EM84, the tuning eye on this, because as you'll see, it doesn't read anything at all, even on a station.
While you can. Book your train to Edinburgh, Leeds, London,
Exactly the same
Newcastle
as you
and
can
more
see there.
at lner.co.uk.
Now, these magic eyes, they're not exactly vital to functioning of a radio, but let's have a look and see how they work. The circuit is here, you see, and the magic eye is there. You see it on the screen there. Now, EM84 valves have in them the green display and a triode, which is taken to us by a capacitor, which is okay, I checked it, and through a 2.2 meg resistor, one up here again to where I've modified the circuit because of that switch. So we'll go there first. For loop, you see, these the two that one thing does happen is that this resistor here tends to go high in value. That's the 470k, and that goes high in value. And when it does, it causes magic eye to recede slightly, and in some cases disappear off the screen. In a way, it goes green or blue depending on your eyesight right the way across. So that's something which you need to look out for on these. But this one is not reading at all, and so the first thing I'm going to do is find that resistor and check it. There's also 3.3 to deck. There's a 330k, a 3.3 and 3.2. So I reckon, thinking about it honestly, that the green wire here, that's the one which tells the valve what to read, is out of circuit, either because of the work I've done or because there was this open circuit. So that's what we're going to look at tonight. So first thing we do is look and try and find this here resistor and see where it is in the circuit. It doesn't seem to be here. It doesn't seem to be here. If it's come off the board, then obviously that will read nothing. So what I think we'll do here is I think we will take it from here, yeah, 3.2 meg resistor, find that and loop from there, because that resistor goes between there and the socket here and pin 9 of the switch, which I've been working on a lot. So we'll find it, so we'll look at this one first and find out where it is in the circuit, and if need be I shall put in another one and put that wire somewhere slightly more useful to us. So right, so green wire is this one here. That's the cap there, by the way. That's the cap get to deck. So first thing we'll do, we'll check that capacitor isn't shorting it to deck. It shouldn't be. I'll check again to make sure. Yeah. So that side should go to deck, and it does. Okay. On this side it should have no bleed to deck at all, which it doesn't. And going up on resistance range here, let's see what we get. 6.28, right, okay. Now that means therefore that the 3.3, the 2.2 and the 330k, they've all gone up in value, but not terribly. So from there, I will look at that circuit, at that anyway, and try and find out where that particular resistor is. But I can't find it anywhere in the circuit at all. I can't find it at all. Also with these, by the way, something else which does happen to these valves sometimes, they develop an internal short circuit. I've had this once or twice, well, particularly with tape recorders. A while back I had a TD10 deck with one of these memory cards in, and the valve itself measured as a short on the meter on the on pin 1, which is the input to the triode. This one didn't have that, so I'm going to hope for that that's okay, because they don't fail all that often. But at this stage in the proceedings, do remember that all this stuff is overage, so anything that could go wrong probably will. Right, I've now rewired the magic eye here completely. Now what I've done is I've taken that 2.2, ignored that completely, taken it straight from pin 1 there, if you can see that. Taking it straight from pin 1 there, straight to the link I put between there and there. And now, if I was to put that there, you see, and do that, you see now that I'll move that down a bit there, yeah. That better? Hang on. How about there like that? Yeah. That's a key. Okay, right. Try that. Can you see that? Just a bit. Can you see that? Can you see that? Yeah. Okay. Right. So now you see, as I touch it here, you notice it goes up, and as I vary the tuning here, same applies. So that is now working. So now I've got to do is put the tuning dial back on. Well, here the settings now, with the back sorted again after a fault, and the tuning dial sorted. Thank you very much, Andy, for that. I couldn't have done that without you. I couldn't have done that. That for those you don't know, I've only got one hand, but I've got two, but one doesn't work. That's why. But it's working now, and it was a bit of a struggle, so I would say, front off everything, you know. So it's working now on AM only, not on FM. on AM only. This radio, I'm sure, has been dropped. There's been fault after fault after fault, and they're all mechanical and things missing. So that's what that was. But that is now sorted, and it does actually now work, as you can hear in a minute when it warms up. These European sets, these Eastern European sets, they have slightly different arrangements.
Wins from 8, because that's what Burnley do. That's what they do every 5 wins from 8. It's very specific.
There you go.
Or 5 from... Burnley will suddenly put points on the board really quickly. That's what Burnley do. And...
Yeah. So basically, with these sets, most of them are transformer driven. Here, it main transformer, and here's the output transformer. The rectifier is not a valve, it's usually solid state. It's okay on this one. Then the audio side of it is all in one valve. In this set, it's an ECL86, either ECL86 or an ECL82. Yeah. Most of these sets are AM sets with FM tagged on. So the second valve is usually something like an EBF 89 or something similar. It's an EBF 89. That is the IF amplifier and 2 diodes, one of which is not used and the other one goes and demodulates it and takes it through down here, which I'm wide out on this because it's broken, through the input valve. There are also diodes in this can here for FM. That's happened as well. The rest of it is conventional. ECH81, and when you're using it, ECC85 on the VHF only. So that's fine. But basically, these two tend to be different. The EM84 or 87, this one's an EM84, goes off the same line as well. And it shows the AC, and therefore shows the strength of the station, and also the HT comes from, in this case, the switch which I've taken out. It didn't work when it brought from Andy's, and a fault that occurred with the HT. I've now sorted that. So now I've got another job. Now a radio apart and a radio together can be very, very, very different. Believe me, they can. So let's talk about putting this bad boy together. And here it is, a working Hungarian radio, a Civic 4400. Not fully working because there's no FM, but I'm waiting for a replacement switch for the back where it broke. And also a spare button for here, because there's meant to be 6 buttons and one of them is missing. This, like I said, has been dropped, but it's working.
Because we've got a brand new series of international rugby.
It does get something on the shortwave.
As you make clear, sometimes journalism missteps.
There's Radio 4.
But as I say, it's important that journalism has its function.
It works very well actually for
explains to the public what has happened, finding out the truth about what
in the wars. Again, thanks to Andy for starting the dial-up for me. Very, very much needed and very much appreciated, I can assure you. Dad gave me some help with the cabinet. Give him something to do, so I gave him the cabinet to do. The cabinets on these come up really well actually on these sets. So we have this set, by the way, 1965 to 1968 for those of you who's interested in such things. And like I said, it has been in the wars, and I've been through it. I've sorted out all the various things that went wrong with it. The circuit is available from Radio Museum. There's the front part of it there, and that's the other half there, you see. It's a set which does perform extremely well on AM actually. It'll probably be locked to something like Atlantic or Virgin Radio, or Absolute it's called now, or Gold Station or something like that, or of course 5 Live. But it does pick up other stations as well, particularly at night actually. It's rather good. So there you are. It's it works, and it works rather well. So there we are. It's a set which came to me from Graham Christopher. George Christopher, and he said that, you know, £10, and it came back to life, and yeah, it was dead. Even the dial bit here was faulty as well, because there was no HT. Again, it all went through that switch. All the problems related to that switch, and another one as well, which was no FM. So there you are. It's a working radio from Steve's Vintage Radio Longstay Workshop. Yeah, been a bit of a problem on this one, but every radio works in the end with me, including this. So until next time, good luck, whatever you're doing. God bless. Whatever your God is, be faithful to it. And I'll see you soon. And remember, keep fixing radios. Bye bye.